Hello everyone and welcome to a semi-new video on the Return to Bloody Nights. Now I did do a video on this game before, but it was incredibly short due to me having a trip to England literally the next day. Which, by the way, how do you British people eat this? It's like, British food is absolutely disgusting. I cannot stress enough, never eat in England, I swear to God. And I'm incredibly sorry for that really short video because it was just incredibly poorly made and I missed a lot of things that I wanted to talk about and how great the game really is, which I just couldn't fit in that short time frame. But that's what this video is for, and with that out of the way, welcome to the Return to Bloody Nights. And how, in my opinion, this is the best FNAF fan game that I myself have played so far. To start off with, I'll give a little summary of the gameplay mechanics or what makes the game so unique, and then onto some other things that I really love about this game that really elevate it to number 1. And the first mechanic I'd like to talk about is the power system. Now, this game doesn't have the same power system that is prevalent in most FNAF games and even fan games where you have like a limited amount of battery power that goes from 100% to 0%, but it actually has something called generator heat. Now basically how this mechanic works is you can only keep your doors closed for a limited amount of time before the generator heat goes all the way up and this happens. Now, in my opinion, this mechanic is way better than the regular power system, as I think the power in most FNAF games really limit the freedom you have by forcing you to be incredibly conservative with your door usage, and basically forcing you to always keep your doors open as much as possible to not waste a lot of power. And that's why I think the generated heat mechanic is way better, as it actually gives you a way to regain power instead of just only losing it. I think that most people are going to agree that it is incredibly annoying to just lose a whole night just because the power ran out. It is incredibly annoying, and that's why I absolutely love this mechanic, and I wish a lot more games had something similar to this. And the other mechanic I'd like to talk about is the puppet. Now, I really like how they handle the puppet in this game. As in FNAF 2, it's more of just an annoyance, and it's incredibly unfun to play against because all you have to do is just stay on a camera and just hold the left mouse button once the bar goes low, which this game improves on by a lot by actually forcing you to do something. To explain it simply, the puppet in this game kind of acts like the rat from Five Nights at Candy's 4, where you have to flash your flashlight on his face to get him back into the box. And this is way better than just keeping your camera on the music box and, I don't know, sometimes holding the left mouse button to wind it back up. And I also absolutely love the design of the puppet in this game because it's really just, it's incredibly unique, and it really plays with the idea of the puppet like being part of a circus, which I just love it a lot. The next thing I'd like to talk about is Fredbear 2.0. Now, Fredbear 2.0 kind of acts like a FNAF 4 animatronic where he goes from the hallway and tries to make his way to the door, but he also makes noise while making his way there, which is there to kind of alert you that he's slowly approaching your location. Now, the dev did improve this in the newer versions that I played, as in the old version, Fredbear 2.0 would basically just be incredibly fast and just camp at your door for what seemed like absolute ages, and just basically cause your generator heat to go all the way to the fucking moon, like actual Dogecoin type of inflation. In the newer version, he's still incredibly fast, but luckily he doesn't camp for that long. And I really like Fredbear 2.0 because he just adds that little bit of spiciness to make the game slightly different than just only check your cameras, check the hallway cameras, and I don't know, check the puppet and do nothing else. He spices up the gameplay just enough to make it incredibly enjoyable. Now, for the rest of the cast, you also have regular Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, and Spring Bonnie 2.0, which most of them act like regular animatronics, except for Spring Bonnie 2.0, where you can't flash him when he's at the door and you have to look at the camera for when he goes away and towards the door. But those aren't really that notable that I can really give them a section. I do really love the designs, so like the designs in this game are incredible. I absolutely love them. This game is basically a mix of the best mechanics of the mainline FNAF games all put into one super game. And that's what really makes this fan game stick out from all the other fan games, because most of them stick to either the FNAF 1 or FNAF 2 formula, and maybe they go to FNAF 3 or FNAF 4, but that happens rarely. And the thing that really makes me love fan games is their uniqueness, and this game absolutely nails it perfectly. The designs of the animatronics are good, they have new mechanics, but not like too new. It is just absolutely incredible. The difficulty is also another thing that the developers did really good, as it didn't force difficulty like FNAF 2 with the puppet, where Scott just was like, oh, I'll add this mechanic where you have to look at this camera. The game is now very hard. But the devs did actually a really good job on managing the difficulty and actually making it fair difficulty instead of just artificial. The only small issue I still have is that Fredbear is still incredibly aggressive, but he isn't as aggressive as he was pre-patch, luckily. You know, if you want to play one of the hardest FNAF fan games ever, just try getting one of the older versions of the game, because my god, like every video game journalist would say, it is the Dark Souls of FNAF fan games. And I wanted a little bit of the storytelling of the game and the story overall. I really like the way this game tells the story, and the story itself is incredibly enjoyable. I didn't really understand the full story because I'm not a lore fanatic like a lot of FNAF fans, but from what I'm getting is that you're a regular security guard working at Fredbear's trying to make a quick buck during the missing children's incident at Fredbear's. Now, I do have a very small theory that the guy you're playing as is either William Afton or Michael Afton, as during night 6 you can sometimes hear the phone guy say things such as, we can see you, and other things like that, which really makes sense if you're just, you know, your regular Joe night guard who just, you know, did his job and nothing else, no other connections. And I think it might also be Michael due to the fact that after every night there's a small minigame where you scan the main animatronics with some kind of device, which in my opinion might be Michael seeing if there's, I don't know, spirits trapped inside of the animatronics, but that's just a small theory I have, and I'm not good at theorizing at all. To put it simply, I think the devs did a absolutely incredible job on this game, and I really do recommend for you to check it out if you're watching the video, as this fan game doesn't stray too far away from the base idea of FNAF, of trying, you know, to manage your resources and all that, but it also isn't the equivalent of a reskin of either FNAF 2 or FNAF 1. It adds mechanics from nearly every FNAF game and adds just enough spice to the gameplay to make this the best FNAF fan game I have played so far. Now, my personal scoring, I would give this game 10 souls of a great hero out of 10. Too little water. Alright, well, that was all for this week's video. If you guys have any game recommendations of games I can review, please leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you all in next video.
Huh. That's odd. I thought that would be big news.
You thought what would be big